All right, here we are. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for being here at the Peachtree World News. We got a great show for you, and of course, good morning. How you doing?
Morning. Morning.
Hey.
What's going on in the world?
Well, that's a great question. So on today's show, we have a very exciting lineup for you. So today I get the pleasure of interviewing Francisco Pujol, who is going to talk to us about the upcoming Latin America DCI tour. What else do we got going on?
I get to talk to Mr. Bob Sereno, and their YSI is doing some exciting things. They'll be going to Nepal and India. So we'll find out more about that. What else we got going on?
I get to talk to Nick, what's his name?
Nick Lashaw.
About his new book. It's a great translation of a new book by Nagarjuna.
Awesome.
We get to talk about that.
Very exciting. We have two special segments for you today coming from Nick and Geshe-la. We're also going to Juanchenzo live from Guadalajara. He is on location with the Guadalajara team. He'll be bringing you a special interview about the upcoming ancient wisdom teachings that are going down. And we're also going to be talking to Alejandro Rivas from YSI about the Lady Niguma teachings. And Juan is also going to be telling us about 10 of the most exciting things that are going on around the Worldview Network. So without any further ado, let us cut right over to Juan with the top 10 Worldview news.
Or good night, wherever you are. It's good to see you. Can you hear me well? Okay, it's very good to see you. I'm glad you are there all together. That looks fun. So, okay, today, let me put you updated. It's August 22nd, 2023, and we have some exciting news happening in the worldwide network. Okay, we're gonna start with YSI. As you may have heard before, we're about to have Hatha Yoga Pradipika 2. This is happening at the beginnings of September. The show is gonna be very, very exciting. Geshe Michael Roach is going to be leading us through some classes. They're going to be going very deep into the connection between our breathing, our daily habits, and the way that the energy moves in the body. Very, very interesting and recommended. If you can, check their website, Yoga Studies Institute. Also, after the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, they're going to be having a special tour to Nepal. I forgot to mention they are also having a Magic of Empty Teachers before Hatha Yoga Pradipika. That actually comes before, but okay, it's Hatha Yoga Pradipika, then the tour to Nepal. They're going to be working with ALL and going to visit different libraries, very interesting places, Nepal and Kathmandu. And having said that, we want to talk a little bit of ALL. You may know this organization, which has been preserving ancient texts since many years ago. I think lately they have their 30th anniversary, if I remember correctly. And then, as I say, they're going to be going together with YSI to visit libraries in Nepal. Okay. Not only that, but the team in Taiwan who works with ALL are also planning a special visit to the National Library in Mongolia. That's going to be very exciting as well. And just for your information, ALL is developing a very special new app who's helping cataloging and accessing this ancient wisdom, who's serving and helping so many people to improve their daily lives. Okay, next, we're gonna talk a little bit about something very cool happening in Kyoto, Japan. Sedona College of International Management, this time organized by Sugeng Shi and his wife, Xing Tian. They are organizing a special event in Kyoto, December 7 to December 9. It's a very cool party meeting kind of thing, where you can meet other people who have been studying and getting graduated from the Sedona College of International Management. So check it out. If you're planning to be in Japan in December, try to be there, contact them, ask them. They're gonna be giving us more information a little later soon. Okay, New York, back to United States. The Three Yules, very, very famous center in New York. They are getting famous because they have a very exciting meditation teacher training. This is one of new session, new generation coming up, where you're gonna be learning how to focus your mind, how to go deep and use these abilities and qualities to improve your life and help others to do the same. This meditation teacher training, I have heard from many people who have been involved, is very, very good quality, it's very well thought. So if you're interested to learn more about meditation, if you're interested to teach others how to meditate, check it out. It's very, very worth it. They have special scholarships for those who need it. So you can contact them. The information is there. All right, we're gonna share next thing. It's happening in Mexico. You may have heard about green stretch pen. These guys, Anatol and Aisha, are doing a really, really good job sharing this seed system with many, many kids, with school teachers. And not only that, but now they are sharing and teaching some of the local police officers and members here in Guadalajara and Zapopan. These are two different areas in Mexico. We have a picture of them. They have recently a program where they got together with some of the personal trainers, some members of the police department, and we want to show you a special video of them teaching the police. These are great news, because imagine a country where even the police has training on seed system. Please show the video.
The seed is like a video projector.
Por cierto, la semilla es como un proyector.
The cracks open in your heart.
Se abre en tu corazón.
The image comes out.
La imagen se abre,
And it covers
se
the object.
sale y cubre el objeto.
And it makes it pen.
Y lo convierte en este caso en plumas.
It's just like a projector because it flashes like this.
Es como un proyector porque está así con cuadros abriéndose
Just
por
like a
segundo,
movie
así de
camera.
rápido, tal cual como una película.
It's 65
Como un video que son,
frames.
la realidad son 65 cuadros por segundo.
Because you also taste, you also
Porque también en el
smell.
video no tenemos menos cuadros
You
porque
need
no
more than the
tenemos
phone.
todos los sentidos, tenemos solo lo visual.
Okay.
Pero en la realidad tenemos más cuadros que estamos.
Okay. I really want to live in a country where even the police knows about seed system. That's actually wonderful news. So they started with kids, then with teachers in school, now the police, who knows what's coming next. But, you know, because they are doing such an amazing job, some friends of us from Singapore, especially from Diamond Life, they are sponsoring a lot of interesting projects, and Green Stretch Pen is one of them. So we want to really take Endora and Jenny Wong, because they have been helping Green Stretch Pen and many more organizations. They have been supporting ALL since 2022, especially in 2022, they supported the whole center in Varanasi and other centers who are preserving this very, very valuable ancient wisdom. So we want to take them, Diamond Love Foundation Limited. Thank you very, very much. And then, almost to be done with the news of this August 22nd, we have a very interesting thing happening. Senior teacher John Brady is launching a new community online, very exclusive, very privately, but he will be sharing with us a lot of his knowledge there. Very cool meditations, teachings, and sometimes like questions and answers. You really have to check it out if you want to know more about it. John Brady is like an amazing teacher. He did a 3-year retreat. He has been teaching for more than 40 years, and he has a lot of training in meditation, in ancient wisdom. Also, he's part of the DCI team. He's like somebody who's really, really knowable. He's a very good person. He's very friendly. Check it out. Here is the information. If you feel interested in learning more from him, check it out. And one more thing is happening in Romania. This is our great news because some of the members, Solomon, DCI member, he has been awarded since 2001 as one of the persons in the country who's supporting some of the organizations helping the community. This is a great example because it shows you that DCI people, DCI members are great examples for their countries, for their communities. They have a big impact on their society. So yeah, this is it. One more thing. In Diamond Mountain, yes, that's the award he got. Yeah. Thank you, Solomon, for helping our world, the community. Thank you so much. Best regards to Romania. And lastly, as I was saying, Diamond Mountain Retreat Center in Arizona is going to be having very cool programs soon. You want to know about it, check their website, diamondmountain.org. They're going to be having special programs about how to develop a very, very good health using the seed system, going deep on the emptiness wisdom. That's going to be happening in October. Check the website again if you're interested. It will be very, very cool if you can go. I've been there. It's a beautiful place. The teachings are amazing. diamondmountain.org. Thank you very much. Those are the news for now. We go back to you there in Arizona.
Hi, this is Geshe Michael Roach, and I'm going to be sitting with Nick Lashaw. Hi, Nick. Are you
Hey,
good?
Geshe Michael.
Hi. Do we get to see your face or not?
Can you see
Oh,
me
there
now?
we go.
All right.
Okay, hi, nice to see you. Nick is actually the director of the Diamond Cutter Classics project, and I was telling some friends that I designed this project about 35 years ago, but we didn't have any funding. And recently, in the last 7 or 8 years, we have 12 ancient translators of ancient texts. We are doing books from the whole 2,500-year history of this ancient Asian wisdom. And actually, Nick is doing one of the earliest books in that tradition, and it's by somebody named Nagarjuna. And Nick is right now in Portugal. He recently moved to Portugal and with his family, probably to be near the best beaches, I think. And I don't know. We're going to have 2 sections about Nick's book. And I would say, Nick, how would you like to introduce your book?
Okay. Well, I'm now working on a different Nagarjuna book, but the 60 verses on reasoning that, I have passed off to you to edit and, really work on and bring it to completion. I would say that this book is a very amazing and complex book of philosophy that is explaining to people who believe that they accept. So let me even clarify a little bit more. I'm sorry. Within, the ancient teachings, there's different schools of philosophy. There's people who we say have like a more superficial understanding of the profound concept of emptiness. Sometimes we refer to them as the lower schools. And then there's people with a more complex and comprehensive understanding of emptiness, and we think of them as higher schools of philosophy. And in this book, the 60 verses on reasoning, Master Nagarjuna is showing the practitioners who claim to have a certain understanding of emptiness, which we would call superficial. He's showing them that they actually accept the more complex view of emptiness, or the more complete view of emptiness. And really, that's the only view of emptiness that makes any sense. And that at the heart of it all, this is the conclusion the book seems to come to, is that nothing has any nature of its own, not even the process of things coming into existence, independence upon one another.
Yeah, I think that's in fact, I was working on it this morning. I had an extra few minutes and we're working on the introduction to the book. And it's kind of this very tricky thing where Nagarjuna came about 700 years after Gautama. And in between him and Gautama, 700 years, there grew a school called Abhidharma. And they got very famous for teaching. It's like an encyclopedia of everything you want to know, like how did the world start? And how did the first people come to this world? And like that, it's almost like science, and it doesn't talk a lot about emptiness. And then came Nagarjuna after 700 years. And he's talking to these guys and he says, oh, you guys, congratulations. I love your emptiness teachings, And they're like, huh? We don't have any emptiness teachings. And he says, no, of course you do. You have the greatest emptiness teachings. They're called dependent origination, You guys are the masters of emptiness teaching. And then he wrote a whole book about, and it's a weird argument, right, Nick? It's like convincing somebody that they're smart, but they don't know that they're smart, And I don't know, this morning I especially enjoying, I was doing this verse, it's verse 31, and I'll read it, okay? And it says, we introduce them, those who lack an understanding of the meaning of that sheer absence, pure emptiness, with simply getting used to hearing about it. And he says, the first 700 years was just a warm-up, and we were just helping people get used to it. Now I'll give you a quiz, Nick. And then he relates it to a bodhisattva vow. He relates it to a vow for bodhisattvas. He says, the first 700 years was just preparing what, Nick?
Warming people up.
Yeah, for
teachings on emptiness.
Yeah, the vow is called Majanto Niten, which means
not teaching emptiness to someone who's not yet mentally prepared.
Yeah, nice. And then the whole this whole book seems to it's a weird book because he's telling somebody you understand emptiness, but you don't understand that you understand emptiness. So Nick, I'm thinking that Tsongkhapa often ties things together. And he wrote this book called, that we're translating, called The Praise of Dependent Origination, or Thank You for Teaching Dependent Origination. But he does it with a special twist that I think he got from Nagarjuna, who lived 1,200 years before him. What's the twist? If somebody asks you, Nick, this guy is claiming that if you understand cause and effect, then you understand emptiness. How would you answer somebody who said, hey, Nick, you translated this book. How come I understand emptiness if I understand cause and effect?
Yeah, that's a tough one. From working so much on this book, I have to think that the reason is because one of the cool things about dependent origination is that it is also empty. It is, and it's the fact that it's empty that we can change ourselves into, Buddhas.
Yeah, and I think where they get into the emptiness of cause and effect is, and by the way, which, Jetson Kappa really expressed it well. And by the way, Jetson Kappa was a fan of your book. And we have a record of Jetson Kappa giving a lecture about your book. And his main student, Gyaltsab J, wrote a record of the lecture. And it's a fascinating lecture. We also found out through our research from ALL, John Brady's project, that Tsongkhapa's teacher, who was Rendal from the Sakya tradition, he actually gave a lecture first about this. He was fond of this book. And then he taught it to Tsongkhapa and Gyaltsab J. And then Tsongkhapa taught it again to Gyaltsab J. And then Gyaltsab J taught it to us. But to get into the emptiness of a cause and effect, what would you say, Nick, if I say, look, Nagarjuna is saying that when a seed opens up and turns into a tree, that proves emptiness. What's going on there proves emptiness. Why? What would you say?
That is one of the reasons I got into Nagarjuna. So, I mean, I'm sure that this question you're asking me is probably one of the reasons I was so intrigued to follow these teachings so closely and made it my life's work. And I think it's amazing, and it's hard to articulate every time. But if you have a seed and you think about, if you put a seed in the ground and you put dirt and it gets enough light and water, then that seed will produce a sprout, where the seed is the cause and the sprout is the result. The sprout is the result of the seed. So then we'd have to ask ourselves, well, what's the definition of a cause? The definition of a cause is something that produces a result. And what would we say? How could we define a result? Well, it's something that comes from a cause. Okay, sounds good. Seed sounds like it's a cause. Sprout sounds like it's a result. So if the seed is a cause, then it has to be something that produced a result. But when the seed is there, while the seed exists, is there a sprout?
No.
The sprout didn't come yet. So is there a result? No. So how could the seed be a cause if the definition of a cause is a thing that produced a result? And we could say the same for the sprout. When the sprout has come, is there a seed? No. And so if you have this thing, and the definition of a result is something that came from a cause, but the seed is not there, there's no cause. So then there is no cause and there is no result. So it must have something to do with labels coming from our mind.
Yeah.
This is what I took away from that.
There's this cool idea that, and by the way, you guys stop me when I run out of time. I got 2 minutes. We're gonna cut in 2 minutes, Nick, and come back. But the idea is, if two things share a relationship, like being married to your wife, right, Nick? You share a relationship. You both have to be there at the same time. You can't say that something that existed 10 years ago is having a relationship with something that came out 10 years later. And since the seed turns into the tree, it's impossible for them to have a relationship, because when the tree's there, the seed is gone. And when the seed's there, the tree is gone. So Nagarjuna is the master of saying, God, something weird's going on. Seeds and trees have relationship. That's cause and effect. That's the most important relationship in the ancient teachings for 700 years before him. But how can they have a relationship if they're never in the same room at the same time? I don't know. We're going to come back to that after we cut back to the news and find out more news in the world. Back to you, news guys, and your interview.
All right. Thank you, Geshe-la. Thank you, my good friend, Nick Lashaw. Good to see you, man. That brain busting stuff. I love it. Next up, we have the good fortune to talk to Mr. Bob Serino. So Marina, if you could find Mr. Bob and we'll say hello and he'll tell us what's going on at in the world of YSI. So they got some interesting things coming up. They're touring Nepal and India, and hopefully we'll find him soon. We have
Hello, hello.
there he is. How are you doing, Bob?
I'm doing very well. I'm calling you from a community garden here in my neighborhood.
Oh, wonderful. Hopefully we'll get your picture up there soon. Marina, do we have him somewhere there?
There we go.
There he is.
Hey.
Wow, that looks amazing. Look how green that is.
Yeah, we spent the entire morning harvesting, and then right across the street is a food pantry. So all the produce goes to feed the local people.
Oh man,
So
you look
so I
so
figured,
happy. You look so happy in the green. Jeez. So
yeah, I mean, it's harvest season.
well, Bob, I don't know you that well. I want to know a little. I'm Johnny, and I think we met very briefly
Yeah.
at the cafe. But I want to know a little bit. I'm sure we're going to be seeing you a lot on the show. It seems like you're our go-to guy to tell us what's going on, and so I think I'm curious, and our viewers, like, how did you find yourself in this world, in this world of these umbrella organizations? What was the hook?
Good question. Well, good to meet you again, Johnny. It was nice hanging out with you at the Peachtree Cafe while under construction. Congratulations that it's launched. So yeah, I've always had an interest in making a difference in the world and just using the life that I have to contribute. And so I found business as an aspect that I could give love. But I was having such a hard time finding role models that, I don't know, that I didn't have problems with ethically. And so my friend ended up living in the Dominican Republic with Pachi Coquette, who many of you might know. And he's like, hey, you should check out this book called The Diamond Cutter. And I was like, oh my gosh, I finally found somebody, Michael Roach, who did a great job at business and seems like he's a great guy. And so I got to learn more about what's going on here. And 5 years prior to that, I had an incredible meditative experience that was completely undescribable, and I didn't understand it. So that's when I connected with a meditation alliance dance, and all these things come together, as you might imagine. And so I said, Pachi, like, I got to know more about this. And he goes, well, you got to talk to Nick Lashaw. So I talked to Nick, and I said, Nick, why do we have this text? And he goes, because we're working really hard to preserve them, and you have to help us. So so I said, okay, Nick, I'll do whatever you need me to do. Like, let's keep saving these texts. And so I started getting deeper and deeper and deeper into the different texts, and I finally cracked open the book How Yoga Works, which I call my first yoga teacher was How Yoga Works. And I never looked back because it helped me understand the phenomenon of the mind and the body coming together as one, which I always felt to be true, but I never understood. So then I heard that Yoga Studies Institute was coming back online, so I started volunteering because I have some experience with websites and stuff, and so I said, hey, let me help. And now here we are, and pretty soon we're going to be heading off to Nepal and India, and Geshe Michael will be teaching the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, which is one of the most incredible yogic texts out there.
Wow. Oh, what a great
So
story.
that's a long story short, I guess, Johnny.
No, it's wonderful to hear. That's great. There's some great introductions. There's some great guys that really led you into this. So tell me about you're going
So
to
thanks, Nick.
Nepal and India. Yeah, Nick. So you're going to
Yeah,
Nepal and
so
India. What is
yeah.
who can go
My
and
pleasure.
who are you teaching? Oh, there he is. And how what are we gonna learn?
Yeah. Well, actually, before we head out to Nepal, we're going to be doing 10 days of incredible teachings by Geshe Michael on the Hatha Yoga Pradipika. So that's going to be September 20th to 29th. And this course is called Breath and the End of Breath. And it's about the really effective and powerful method of Hatha Yoga. So if you're familiar with Lady Naguma, her style of yoga is a hatha yoga style. So if you want to understand more context and uncode how our breath affects our mind and our body, then you're gonna want to get this course. What's so special is you don't always find someone who, first of all, understands the text, let alone has practiced the text in retreat. So Geshe Michael obviously has done both of them. So it's really once in a lifetime opportunity to get this teaching. And if you do the practices, it will have a profound effect on your life, hands down. So then right after that, Johnny, that's when we're going to Nepal with
Okay.
ALL. So in Nepal, Kathmandu, a lot of our tradition, especially the Lady Naguma tradition, comes from that area. So one of our main distributors and organizers, Raw Diamonds, they're putting on a Lady Naguma Foundation 2 course where Connie O'Brien, Earl Burney, Teresa, and myself are going to go and teach this second level of Lady Naguma. So if you've done our Foundation 1 course, then you're not going to want to miss this. It's going to be incredible. We're going to be visiting libraries, cultural sites, and getting a really beautiful transmission of a powerful, powerful tradition. Then right after that, Johnny, then we're going to India. What we found out was that there's a community of yogis who are practicing the same stuff that we're practicing here, but they're over there doing it. And they've been holding this tradition for thousands of years. And they're growing so quickly right now that they need help to build more dormitories. So YSI said, these are our brothers, this is our family. Let's help them. What can we do? So Connie O'Brien and John Brady, Peter and Maria Myrtle are also coming, and myself, and Paola Pimentel. We're going to be doing a really special take on the perfection of giving. So we're going to be taking Nagarjuna's texts. We're going to be taking Illumination of the True Thought by Jetson Kappa, the Yoga Sutra, Hatha Yoga Pradipika, and Lady Naguma's root text, the body. We're going to put it all together into a 6-day immersive experience in Mysore, India, with field trips and stuff. It's going to be incredible. So you can register for that through YSI or through any of our distributors who are offering it. And we're going to have translation to lots of different languages. So it's going to be a phenomenal fall for the Yoga Studies Institute. And thank you so much to everybody who supports us and is part of our community. It's a ride of a lifetime.
Wow, that's amazing. How do you feel having this opportunity to travel the world and do this? Well, it seems
amazing for you. It's humbling. It's a lot of work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And something so special about our community that you would travel the whole world to take care of it. If that was the thing to do, then you would do it. So I just feel a very high sense of responsibility to take what my teachers have had the kindness to share with me and continue to breathe life into that, including in my local community garden.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, man, I thank you so much for all your efforts, and you're shining, man. I can see your good deeds, just like they're just glowing off
Johnny.
your face. So I appreciate it. So thank you
Grateful
so
to be here.
much.
Thanks so much.
We'll see you again, I'm sure. All right.
Hope so. Thank you. And
Travel
thank you,
well.
Michael Roche, Geshe Michael. All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Well, that's wonderful. So next, we're going to go back to Juan Chenzo. He's in Mexico. He's there with Mr. Alejandro Rivas. And they're speaking of Lady Naguma. He's another great yoga teacher and doing I had the pleasure of being in Mexico and seeing him teach and hanging out with Alex. So over to you. Take it away.
Okay, thank you very much. Hello, Bob. It's good to see you. Beautiful countryside there.
Good to see you too.
Okay,
Hey, Rios.
so we were talking about YSI, Yoga Studies Institute. We are here with one of the organizers of YSI as well, Alejandro Rivas. He's a very good friend. You know, right now I'm in Mexico, so I'm taking advantage of that and I get to invite my friends over. It's more fun to work with friends. So he is here and he has been working for YSI for a little while. But not only that, now he is organizing special Lady Niguma events. And I would like to welcome you, Alex. And also, can you tell us a little bit of what is Lady Niguma about? What are you doing? And how did you become to be now a distributor of these programs? What are you doing?
Yeah, Lady Niguma, maybe you all know it. It's a beautiful practice about becoming a better person with yoga and seats. And yeah, I just became a distributor here in Latin America in Spanish. But for all YSI products, like YSI courses, we're translating them. And then now we're sharing them here I started here in Guadalajara. And I wanted to promote the event. That's why I was here. But then the event is sold out. It's already full. So we're here just to talk. And we're doing another in Mexico City. And yeah, I wanted to like inspire people. Like you can also become distributors in any language, in any part of the world. We're not like competitors. Like, no, I'm the distributor in Spanish. There can't be more. No, it's like we need to work together and share this knowledge, because a lot of people is like inspired with doing yoga. There are like millions of people doing yoga in the world. So we can go there, teach like some twists and stretch, and then talk about seats. You know, like you can help people with your yoga. It's not just like stretch and become stronger. It's also for that. It's a side effect, but we need to teach them seats. So that's why Lady Niguma is perfect for the world right now, because people is interested in yoga, in asana, so we can teach them the whole yoga system, as we call in YSI Navanga. So if you're interested in distributing, contact the great Bob. You already saw him. And yeah, it's been a great, this is my first time I am doing it myself, and it's been great. So
people can become distributors. What do they need to do? Do they have to certify as teachers first, or not necessarily?
They have to send me first $1,000 to my account.
And mine too.
No, you just have to do it. Contact Bob and say, hey, I want to distribute some of your things, and that's it. You will sign some papers, and then you will start. And you don't have to be a teacher. You just need to want to share this knowledge. You know, the teachers, YSI has the teachers, and you just need to have the willing to do it.
The courage.
Yeah, the good seed of wanting to share this knowledge.
Awesome. I'm gonna be taking your training. I'm gonna be taking it. It's gonna be next weekend and next weekend too. So thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. We'll let you know more later after the event and see how it goes, to keep learning more about this system, Lady Niguma for the world. Thank you, Alex Rivas. Thank you very much for being here, for doing everything that you do. Thank you very much.
And thank you everyone for being here.
Okay. Now we have, yes, there you go.
Thanks, guys. Thank you, Alex. So up next, we have a special interview with Francisco Pujol, who is the main organizer for the upcoming DCI Latin America tour. So any minute now, we should have Francisco joining us on the call. Hola.
Hi, Francisco.
Hi.
Mucho gusto.
Yes.
And so Juan is going to help us as well. Okay, mi español. Francisco requested the interview to be in Spanish.
Okay.
So I do speak Spanish. However, we thought it would be a little, Juan's much better. And we thought it would be fun for Juan to join us and to help us translate. So first of all, I'd like to start off by asking Francisco to tell us a little bit about himself, what he does for a living, and what organizations that he's
Es que me preguntaron, pero no, los que me
Bueno.
preguntaron, no, ninguno.
Bueno, yo vivo en Perú, aunque soy español,
Lo solté porque
y
había tres
me,
personas
me
que me
dedico,
preguntaron.
me dedico al mundo de los negocios, lidero una organización empresarial.
Francisco, I will be translating for you.
Sí, por
So
favor.
say, I am from Spain. I'm living in Peru. I'm running an international organization.
Y es una organización empresarial muy grande en el mundo. Somos más de 300.000 socios a lo largo y ancho del planeta.
We are in partnership with more than 300,000 business partners on the planet.
Wow.
Y nuestra filosofía es ayudar a otras personas sin esperar nada a cambio. Es decir, construimos el éxito personal a partir de ayudar a otras personas.
Okay. Our philosophy is about helping other people without asking anything or expecting anything in return. We give fully wanting to help the other person.
Y bueno, hace 11 años conocí a Geshe en Los Ángeles y cuando conocí lo que él promovía me enamoré porque era lo mismo que yo hacía todos los días en mi organización.
Okay, I met Geshe Michael 11 years ago in LA, Los Angeles, and as soon as I meet him, I fall in love because he was doing exactly what I wanted to do.
Bueno, hoy colaboro, soy asesor de la organización de DCI y estoy ayudando a que DCI se desarrolle dentro del mercado latinoamericano.
Okay, so nowadays, I'm a DCI collaborator and I'm helping it to develop in the Latin American market.
Ahora, en septiembre, el 13 de septiembre, tenemos un gran evento con una de las universidades más prestigiosas de negocio en Perú, con una presentación especial para Geshe.
Okay, now in August, we have a very special event happening in Peru, and it's from one of the most successful conference events.
Yeah. Y eso va a ser el 13 de septiembre y el 15 de septiembre tenemos un evento en Argentina, en Buenos Aires.
That's happening in September. 13th of September is happening in Peru. And then on the 15th of September is happening in Buenos Aires, Argentina.
En estos dos eventos esperamos tener más de 1.500 empresarios escuchando esta maravillosa filosofía.
In these events, we expect at least 1,500 business people attending to the conference.
Y bueno, estos son los eventos que estamos planteando ahora mismo, pero una de las cosas que más orgulloso me siento y creo que estamos haciendo un trabajo increíble con DCI.
Some of the things that I feel proud the most, and I really believe we are doing an excellent job with DCI,
es hacer un documental para poder lanzarlo a nivel mundial sobre DCI y Geshe Michael Roach.
we are creating a documentary to be shown to the whole world about DCI and Geshe Michael Roach.
Además, el director de este documental es uno de los directores más famosos de toda Latinoamérica, que ha roto todos los estándares y todos los récords en cualquier proyecto que ha hecho aquí en Perú.
So the director of this documentary is one of the most prestigious and recognized directors in Latin America, and he has surpassed his expectations in many, many senses regards this production.
Pero lo más bonito de él es que leyó el libro de Geshe, empezó a practicarlo y ya ha vivido en sus propias carnes qué significa ayudar a otros, plantar las semillas y que eso se genere grandes resultados para uno mismo.
But the most beautiful part is that this director, he himself read the book, Geshe Michael's book, and he has proved the seed system and has succeeded with it, using it. So that's something that makes him very, very special person.
Muy bien, pues esto es lo que estamos haciendo. Espero que podáis formar parte de este proyecto. Estamos muy, muy contentos con todos los proyectos que estamos llevando adelante y bueno, tenéis las puertas abiertas de Latinoamérica para cualquier cosa. Estoy a vuestra plena disposición. Muchísimas gracias.
Qué chévere, Francisco. How cool is that? Thank you so much. We heard that you found that incredible director and he makes movies that are more popular than Marvel movies in Peru.
Thank you. Nice to see
That's
you.
really exciting. Not only that you found such an incredible director, but that he's actually practicing the seed system as well.
Yeah.
That's
Thank
cool.
you.
It's already working. So do you want to tell us anything a little bit more about the upcoming tour, the DCI tour? Is there anything else that you would, is there like
bueno, sí, bueno, este primer tour que vamos a estar en 2 países está muy enfocado a que vengan empresarios y que empiecen a conocer el sistema de Geshe, todo lo que tiene que ver con las redes empresariales tanto de Perú como de...
En este primer, at this first tour, we are very interested that the business people from Peru and Argentina start interacting and meeting with each other and what with this system, and they learn how to apply it to their personal projects.
Pero en una segunda etapa vamos a ampliar los países con los que vamos a trabajar y ya estamos teniendo conversaciones con Costa Rica, Colombia, Chile, Guatemala y poder ampliar el conocimiento de la marca DCI y del proyecto DCI a toda Latinoamérica.
And in the second round, we want to expand our reach in different countries. We are planning on Costa Rica, Chile. ¿Dónde más, Francisco? Costa
Colombia,
Rica, Chile, Colombia,
Guatemala. Hace algunos años tuvimos la gran suerte de poder llevar a Geshe a un evento con casi 1000 personas en México y espero que también México sea un espacio en donde podamos seguir contribuyendo con la marca DCI.
A few years ago, we have the great chance to take Geshe Michael to a big event with over 1,000 people in Mexico. And we hope Mexico can be another one of the countries where we can expand DCI branding.
And I'd like to say one thing about Francisco is I told him after we met each other and talked, I felt like we are 2 brothers, that we were born in the same hospital at the same time as twins. And then we got separated for our whole life. And then finally, we got connected back together. And I feel like we are brothers. And Francisco is guiding over 100,000 businesses in Latin America and around the world. He is the director of guiding these businesses, and their main idea is to try to stop this idea of competition. And I love Francisco's explanations about it. And he's spending his whole life to try to teach business people that we don't have to compete with each other, that we can, if we help each other, we can all be less stressed out and we can be more successful. So I feel like Francisco is my lost brother. And it's really nice to be going on a tour with you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Muchas gracias, Francisco. It's very
Thank
amazing
you.
to meet you, to get to know you. Sounds like this is just the beginning of an incredible DCI wave over Latin America. And we're so proud and glad to have someone of your caliber leading the way. So thank you so much for joining us today. And for everything you're going to do in the future for DCI. And I'm sure this isn't going to be our last interview with you. So thank you so much for joining, Francisco.
Francisco, people in the chat are asking, how can they sign up for this event if it's available online or not? ¿Cómo puede la gente registrarse, si está abierto en línea o no?
No, no está abierto en línea. Hemos decidido hacer el evento totalmente presencial. De hecho, sí que lo he contado, pero tenemos la gran suerte de que están patrocinando el evento las marcas más importantes del país. Y es la verdad que es un gran orgullo que este evento esté en ese nivel de expectativa.
So we have decided not to do an online event. It's only going to be live. You have to attend there. And we have the great fortune of some of the biggest brands in the country are sponsoring this event. Okay. Si la gente quiere ir, entonces, tiene que ir.
Welcome, welcome.
People are welcome, but you have to go to the country. Thank you.
Thank you, Francisco.
Gracias, Francisco.
Thank you, Beshe.
Gracias, gracias. Muchas gracias.
Chao, equipo.
Next,
Gracias a todos.
we're going to be going back over to Juan next for his interview with the teachers for the upcoming Ancient Wisdom Tour of Latin America.
All right.
Or to John at the coffee bar.
Yeah, we're gonna give Juan a chance to set up there. So I just wanted to remind you that after we're gonna come back to the 60 verses on emptiness with my good friend Nick Lashaw and of course Geshe Michael Roach, and that brain busting stuff. I love thinking about that. I remember one meditation in particular, cause and effect. Can they be if a cause produces an effect, then they have to touch each other, right? And if they're touching each other, then they have to exist at the same time. And if they exist at the same time, how could one be producing the other? It's kind of really twists my noggin, and I love that stuff. So that's one of the Nick and I used to live together, and we would just spend hours just getting into this stuff. So I'm really excited about this topic. So hopefully that gave Juan enough time to get set up over there. Juan, how's it going over there? You ready? They're going to be talking about the caliber of teachers there in Mexico is really, really sweet. It's amazing out there. Are you ready, Juan? I see it. Everyone's all set up there. Cool. Pau, Aldo, good to see you.
Hi, Johnny.
Can you
All
hear
right.
us?
Take it
Hello?
away.
Yes, very good. So yeah, as I say, because I'm in Mexico, I'm abusing all my friends. I make them come early and they dress nice. So we have fun here together. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you for helping us, for helping me and all these beautiful people in Mexico and in the world. Okay, so why, you may wonder, these people are here today. And it's because different reasons, but one of them is they are excited to be sharing very soon a tour in Latin America. This is a different kind of tour. This is an ancient wisdom seed system sharing tour in Latin America. You know, Mexico is growing a lot in this ancient wisdom, but there are other countries who also want to get access to that. And I hear you are planning a tour. Can you tell us a little bit about what's the motivation behind this tour? What are you planning to do? And whatever you know, maybe what places or when are you planning to do it?
Yes, thank you, Juan.
Very welcome.
Yeah, we are very excited of this upcoming tour. We're still cooking it, but we've been working with the ambassadors of different countries, and right now we're designing a program that's like suiting their needs, because we really want to go there and plant a lot of seeds so we can share ancient wisdom that can really help their communities. So we're working it out with the ambassadors, and we're designing a very specific program for each different country. For example, in Colombia, they told us they want to know more like about peace and how to eradicate violence. So we're working on a very specific program. And in Mexico City, the big city, they want like financial success, more time. So we're designing like very specific programs for each different country and each different part of the world, so we can really like share wisdom, so they can really impact the community. And at the end, we all want to create a better world.
That's very beautiful. And Paulina, I hear also you are doing other things in the meantime that are very interesting for our audience. So we hear you're gonna be launching soon a very exclusive and very important interview with John Brady. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Where is that coming from? It's a surprise.
Yes, well, 4 years ago, we have John Brady here in Mexico, in Guadalajara. So we took the chance to sit down with him and create a beautiful interview, like a very personal interview. So Club de Oro will be launching for the world in all languages this interview, which, you know, we've been waiting for 4 years to launch it, and I think this is a perfect moment to share it with everybody. You will see John Brady you've never seen before. He's gonna share beautiful stories here, his personal story about how he entered his spiritual path, with who inspired him. And I don't know, it's gonna be very interesting from all of you. So I hope you enjoy that interview. So yes, don't miss that out.
Thank you. Thank you very much, both of you, for all the work you are doing. Paulina is running a lot of projects, Club de Oro, some meditations that are going to come up soon. You will know about that later. Aldo, thank you. He's taking care of a lot of the things happening in Mexico in this community. Both of them great friends. So thank you. Thank you very much. We'll be in tune to know what's happening soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Juan.
No, thank you. And now we go back to our exciting section with Geshe Michael Roach and Nick Lashaw on the emptiness wisdom.
Hey.
Where is that guy, Nick? Oh, Aldo and Paul, we look forward to your tour of Latin America. I'm excited to know more about it. And I know that you're planning to go to a number of countries and really break open. I think Latin America loves this kind of teaching, and we haven't had teachers. Now we have a great team of teachers in Guadalajara, Mexico. We look forward to them teaching. Nick, I'm going to do 2 advertisements before we start. As you know, I always have to do this thing. This is a beautiful magazine that just came out. It's called The House of Diamond. and it was put together by Stanley Chen. It's a bilingual in English and Chinese language. It is unbelievably beautiful, and it's kind of a work of art, and it's got beautiful articles about people from all over the world and news about the Worldview Network, what people are doing, and I don't know, interesting articles. Stanley gave me a copy. He said I could read it in my special room at my house. And I really like it. How to get it, I don't know, talk to Stanley Chen and see if you can get a copy. It's beautiful. I hope he will continue to put it out every few months, although that's a lot of work. Secondly, this book just came out. This is the 20th anniversary copy of the Diamond Cutter book that Francisco Pujol was talking about. And this is like the first book that started it all. It's the story of my business in New York City and how I used the Diamond Cutter system starting many years ago, I guess almost 40 years ago. And this is a special edition for the 20th anniversary. And as you can see, it's a lot fatter and it has a lot of new material in it, updated books. So even if you have the old one, you have to get the new one. All right, Nick, let's continue. I have a question for you.
Okay.
I think your dream was to translate, some of Nagarjuna's greatest books. He wrote, for example, we studied what he wrote. Even in the last month, we studied, he wrote 120 different books. He wrote 120 different pieces. Really, there's about 15 main ones or main philosophy books. And can you tell us a little bit about, you finished the 60 verses, and what are you on to next? And how would you compare the two books that you've been working on?
Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Geshe Michael. The 60 verses was the first book, where I'm learning to translate something, big with Geshe Michael. And I'm really grateful for the amazing opportunity to get to learn from, who in my opinion is the world's greatest translator of Tibetan. And that book is pretty dense philosophical material. It's amazing, and it's really helpful for your life if you're trying to understand this profound concept of emptiness, which many of us are. This book gives you a lot of the insight into what some of the greatest philosophers, and especially Arya Nagarjuna, explain about this concept. So it's got a lot of information, and some of it you have to work hard to understand. And now I'm working on a book called Ratnamala, which is, in English, you could say string of precious jewels or precious garland. Some people like to translate it. And it's more of, if you're familiar with the genre of literature that we call Lam Rim, or steps on the path, it's more like that. So it's more accessible for the masses. It was actually a letter that he wrote to a king. And I just remember from his biography that this king was a child who he met on the road when he was traveling. And then he prophesied that the child would become a king. And then when he came back, the child was a king. And he stayed with him for 3 years, teaching him and teaching the kingdom. And it's got a lot of information on, we're still in the earlier part of the book, and it's been a lot of, in practical information about how to live your life and how to conduct yourself if you want to live a life that's, in harmony with happiness and having a good future and achieving success and ultimately achieving total happiness. And so I would say, for me, it's as the the translator or someone working on translating it, it's a breath of fresh air because it's easier to understand. And I imagine for the reader, it's going to be a little bit easier to digest. So they're just two different things. And it's the same master, the same great master, teaching us some different things, more like how to get our minds ready to understand emptiness and how to live a life that's happy.
Nick and I were having a meeting about the upcoming Mixed Nuts translation classes, and we decided that we should have a byline that says, if you don't understand what's going on, you belong here. And and that's the description of the Mixed Nuts classes. Nick, there's a big change coming up in those classes. We've been doing 2 to 3 week sessions, very intense, 3 times a year, 5 hours. I was getting up at 4 in the morning. Sometimes the classes went till 9 or 10 o'clock at night. And we decided to change the format. Would you like to talk about that?
Absolutely. I've been waiting for my chance to pitch it. So it's very exciting what's happening with the Mixed Nuts or the Diamond Cutter Classics. The new format is going to be 2 times a week. We're going to get together, all the Mixed Nuts, meaning the translators, and all of you on this call, and everyone and all the people. We're going to get together a couple times a week to discuss these books together. We're gonna start with this schedule, okay, for at least a year, and we'll see how it goes. And wherever Geshe Michael is in the world, he's going to stop what he's doing and then make the Mixed Nuts part of his programming. So it's going to be Mondays, Arizona time, 4 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Everybody write this down. Mondays, 4 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Arizona time, and Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. a.m. Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Arizona time. So Saturdays will work better for those of us in the European area, and Mondays will be easier for people in America or Asia. But we recommend, if you can make it, come to everything. And I just want to say that, for years, I was studying with Geshe Michael, and I just so desperately wanted the opportunity to get even an hour here and there, every month or something, of him really diving deep into the deep philosophy that he studied when he was doing his training. And I desperately craved it, and when he would teach it, I would sit right up front, really excited. And when he was going to the language or the more esoteric, not even esoteric, but the real rigorous philosophical studies. And now we have the chance to get it, every single week. So it's amazing. And this is some of the most powerful transmission of, ideas that we could ever get. And we're hearing it straight from probably the only person alive who can help us understand it, because it's locked in its own special languages. And you have to go through the training that Geshe Michael has gone through to get it. So to have this opportunity is really precious. So I seriously recommend you consider, or you do take advantage of this. It's amazing.
Yeah, so it's a new schedule. And I really, really want to encourage you to come once a week in your time zone for 1 hour. Stretch your brain, try to expose your mind to very, very deep ideas that you don't understand. And I have to say, in my life, I do it every single day. Every day, usually in the morning, I will take a few hours, and I learned to do this 45 years ago. And every morning, I read 1 hour of something I don't understand. And I stretch my mind, and it's not easy. It's a little difficult, and it's not comfortable. But that's what growing means. Growing is not comfortable. And even with Nick's baby, Amelie, I'm sure there's times when it feels like her body is growing too fast. And she grows out of her clothes probably every week. And your brain needs to stay fresh. Your brain needs to be stretched. A lot of us haven't learned anything new since we were in high school or in college. And we thought the day we graduated from college, we don't need to learn anything new. But it's such a beautiful habit to learn something new every day, or in this case, it'll be once a week. So we tried very hard, instead of having the translator class 3 times a year, we will have it once a week. And then wherever you are, wherever I am, if you live in Asia, it'll be 7 a.m. Tuesday morning, Beijing time. And there'll be an hour class. Then there'll be 15 minutes of discussion together. And then there'll be 15 minutes of kind of like news updates. We're hoping the Peachtree World News crew will help us with those every week. And then there'll be a special class. We call it Diamond Cutter Elite, DCC Elite class. And so that'll be Tuesday morning, Beijing time. It'll be, what time Beijing time, Nick?
That's going to be Tuesday morning.
8:30.
US, 8:30, yeah.
8:30 to 9 a.m. Sorry, 8:30 to 9:30 a.m. Special advanced brain busting class, Beijing time. And then every Saturday in the afternoon or evening, Europe time, okay? In Arizona, it will be in the morning. So we'll have Americans, Latin Americans and North Americans can tune in the morning at, what time is that, Nick? Starts at 8 o'clock. 8 a.m. And then that'll be in Europe. That'll be either 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
It's 5 p.m. Berlin, 6 p.m. Moscow.
Okay, yeah. 5 o'clock Berlin, 6 p.m. Moscow, every Saturday. And I really encourage you to bust your brains. I'm going to leave Nick with I was working on a verse yesterday from your book. And I was doing a very interesting study, which is only possible because of ALL database. ALL has put in 3 million searchable pages of ancient books. It means we can search it in about 3 seconds. We can search 1 million pages. And Nick and I were curious. So after Nagarjuna wrote his books, the lineage continued after him for 2,000 years, 1,800 years. Nagarjuna's lineage has continued up to the present time. And we did a study, a statistical study. We studied the database to see how much of Nagarjuna survived in the last 2,000 years. Which pieces from Nagarjuna survived from Nick's book, and which pieces did not survive, which pieces should have survived, and maybe we can wake those back up. But I was reading yesterday, and I'm gonna leave you with this, Nick. And Nick doesn't know what verse I'm choosing, but this is a verse from your 60 verses, which did survive the 2,000 years and was repeated by people and used by people. Here it is. It's verse number 50 of the 60 verses. And it says, those who are great beings take no positions, and they never engage in dispute. how could there be some other position for those who have no position themselves? Does that mean, Nick, that to stay out of arguments with my wife, I shouldn't have any opinions at all? What's that mean?
Oh man, I think this is a tough one. Although I would tend in my current frame of mind to agree with what you just said. Although I don't think that that's what Nagarjuna was trying to say.
Well, I think there's a trick here. And if you read the commentaries, there's a trick here because he says, look, he's talking to the lower school guys before him, the 700 years before him, Abhidharma. And he says, look, don't fight with my position because listen, I don't have any position. And then for 2,000 years, some dumb guys said, I don't have any position. I'm following Nagarjuna and I don't have any position at all. And then Tsongkhapa would say, that's not what he meant when he said he doesn't have any position. And that's not what he meant when he said, there's no my position and there's no your position in an argument because they both, Nick,
they're both come from seeds in your mind.
They're both coming from you. Yeah. The position I'm taking on emptiness and the position you're taking on emptiness are both coming from the same place. Don't whine, don't complain about my explanation of emptiness, you Abhidharma guys, because it's coming from you. And I think we can always apply this anytime we have a disagreement with somebody. The thing about that person that we don't like and the irritating thing that we see in other people, the position they take is actually coming from us. And I think that's a good place to leave it, Uncle Nick. I look forward to you finishing in your lifetime all of his 6 great books. We are working on 3 of them because wisdom we're doing okay. And you got, after that, Nick, you got 3 books to finish. All right, back to our hosts. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you. Miss you guys.
Yay.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nick. Thank you so much, Geshe-la. Thanks, John.
Thanks, D.
Thanks, Juan. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Jack. Thanks, Gina. Thank you, Marina, Anatol, everyone behind the scenes who helps with the Peachtree World News. Thank you, Julie. Thank you, all of our guests. And thank you, everyone who's spreading the seed system around the world. This is what we're here for, and this is what we do. So we'll see you back in 3 weeks.
Yeah. Please, there might be a card up there for our socials and maybe a picture of the volunteers. Maybe we want to show them real quick. Oh, there they are.
Cool.
There's all these people that really help make this show fly, and we appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. And here's a card. There's the website for us, and please follow us. It would help us grow. And if you like what we do, please subscribe, and we appreciate you. And Juan, you're the man. Thank you for doing everything you do. That's all we got for you. And
yeah, Juan, thanks for being on vacation. I mean, location in Guadalajara.
Yay. Thank you very much. And I really want to thank all of you as well, everybody who does this possible, our volunteers, co-workers, friends, sponsors. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And Gina as well. She does a lot of work.
Hey, Gina!
Thank you all of you as well. Thank you, Daniel, John,
and Allison are here today too.
Jack. Thank you very much. So
Stanley and
let's
Allison
keep
are
in
here.
touch.
Let's get Stanley and Allison's beautiful shining sponsor faces up here. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you.
Yay.
All right,
We'll see you guys in 3 weeks.
Take care. Bye.